بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Dear all, good afternoon. On behalf of Hamdan Foundation, I would like to welcome you all to the Distinguished Student and the Distinguished University Student Awards Workshop. I am Hala El-Hawaris, a College of Education Acting Dean at the United Arab Emirates University. And I have also worked with Hamdan Foundation in different capacity during the last, I will say 15 years, including serving as a judge for the Distinguished Student and Distinguished University Student Awards. The aim of today's workshop is to give you an overview of the conditions and the main criteria for the two awards, for the distinguished students and also for the distinguished university students, and also to answer your questions and inquiries in relation to the awards. So I will start by just giving you a brief overview first about Hamdan Foundation. And then after that, I will talk more in details about the award criteria and the award conditions. And then I'm going to keep the second hour for your questions and inquiries. So let me just start by giving you a brief overview of Hamdan Foundation. The foundation was established in 1998 in Dubai. At the beginning, the award included various academic performances and honored creative people. In April 2017, the award became an independent foundation per a decree issued by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai. The foundation aims to promote distinguished educational systems and educational ideas based on sound philosophical origins, sustainable development plans, and global competitiveness. Okay, what about our outcomes for today's workshop? First, to identify the general and special conditions for the distinguished students and the distinguished university students awards. In the two areas, as you know that the award now it has two domains, academic and non-academic fields. The second workshop outcome is to identify the dimensions of excellence in relation to the distinguished student and university students awards, of course, in the two fields. And finally is to identify the assessment mechanisms of the excellence dimensions of the student award for academic and non-academic fields. So we will expect that by the end of this award, you will be able to do all of that. So now moving on to the distinguished student. When we say distinguished student, who is a distinguished student, right? The distinguished student is a student who achieves exceptional performance higher than his or her peers in one or more in the academic or non-academic fields, as appears from his behavioral compliance. The academic fields, as you all know, it's related to the academic subject matter, and the non-academic field, it's any field that's not related to the school's curriculum or to the study subjects that are related to the schools, like literature, performing, and visual arts, and so on. Talking about the general conditions for the Distinguished Student Award, we can see that there are main general conditions. The first one is that the students must be attending the school on a continuous basis during the current academic year. So the student who's going to apply for this award, they are expected to be current students, right? Students who are now on when they apply to the award, they have to be current students, continuous students at the school. Also for the university undergraduate student is the same case. So you cannot apply after you graduate. Either you are in schools from grade 8 to 12, or you are an undergraduate student at a university. The applicant must have attended the training workshops. And the third requirement is that the students may win the award in the academic or non-academic field. So that's mean you need to apply to one domain. You cannot apply for the two domains, right? And then the student, if you have won or you have received the award last year, you cannot apply this year. At least it has to be 2 years. So if you won in the 22nd cycle, for example, you can apply in the 24th cycle. Okay, for the special conditions, if we are thinking about the academic field, the student must be academically superior, high achiever. So the student is expected to achieve a total average of not less than 90% in the academic subjects. Now I am referring to the school students. So the expectation is that you have to have a total average score of 90% in all the subjects, right? Per year. It's not the average for the total 3 years, but you need to submit your scores for 3 years, okay? So that's one of the requirements. Second, the student must academically be also superior as appears from his certificates of achievement. So for the students who are going to submit, like if they have digital certificates, the total average for the academic subjects shall not be less than 90%. Descriptive certificates, it has to be also equal to excellent, all right? Third, the student may apply for the award in the distinguished student category. So it's expected the students to be in grade 8 until grade 12, starting from 8 to 12 grade. That's for the United Arab Emirates students. And if you are a student who's coming from the Gulf region, you can apply if you are in grade 10 to grade 12. Okay, so for the special conditions for the non-academic field, and I'm still talking about the students, the school students, let's say students in grade 8 until grade 12, they need to also to score not less than 80% in the total grades of all the subject matters, okay? So, and the students also needs to submit his scores for the last 3 years. And it has to be all the minimum score should be 80%. Okay, for the second special condition is that the student must have obtained certificates of winning or excellence in competitions at schools, at the local level, or even at the international level. And that's again in the area of excellence. So if the student is creative in the area of visual arts, we expect that the student is going to provide the committee with certificates of winning or certificates of excellence in the area of visual arts. The third, the student must attach a recommendation letter from an expert or expertise agency in the field of excellence or creativity. So I just mentioned that earlier for the GCC countries. And for the general conditions for the distinguished university students, the applicant must be an undergraduate student. The students must be also attending the university on a continuous basis, right, during the current academic year. The student must have completed at least 2 academic years and completed 60 credit hours when they apply for this award. Also, the student is expected to be enrolled in a university that is accredited by the United Arab Emirates Ministry of Education. The applicant shall provide the contact information of 2 professors who have taught him. And number 6, the applicant must attend the training workshop. And finally, the undergraduate student may have won the award in the academic or non-academic field. So you need to apply for a specific domain. You cannot apply for both domains. Okay, for the specific conditions for the academic field, the students must be scoring a GPA not less than 3.6 out of 4, okay? So, and if the student is, he's studying in a university where they are using a different scale than the 4.0, the student, we need to ensure that he's getting an excellent or an A, okay? It's equivalent to A. His scores. Okay, for the specific conditions of the non-academic field, the student is also expected to score a very good, okay, in his average scores at the university. So his GPA will be 3.0 out of 4. And if there is any other scale that the university is using, it has to be about very good. So that should be the average score for the student during the last 2 years. The student must hold also certificates of excellence, showing his excellence during the past 2 years, in addition to the year of nomination that he's going to apply for the award. The student must attach a nomination letter from an expert or expertise, again, in his area of expertise or excellence. Okay, if we look now at the applicant's journey, okay, or the stages, the first stage will be that the students will attend the workshop. Second, the students are going to apply through the foundation, Hamdan Foundation website. The third, we will have the judge committee who are going to look and to review the student's application file. And of course, the judge, all of them actually, they are experts in the fields of Hamdan Foundation awards criteria, and they will be looking at the student's file to ensure that the student is meeting all the requirements and meeting all the criteria. Usually at the end of the review and of the judging, let's say, stage, the committee, they will, they will rate the student's file, and according to the ratings, then the students will be, if the students may be eligible to the second phase, which is going to be the personal interviews. So not all the students who are going to apply, they will be eligible for the personal interviews. So it depends upon the score that you are going to receive. And after that, after the interviews, then the committee will submit their recommendations to Hamdan Foundation, who will make the final decision of who's going to be, who are the winners for the award. All right, so now let's talk more about the criteria. So I'm going to talk about the criteria for the non-academic field and the criteria for the academic field. I will give you more details about each criteria, and then I will be talking about the rubric that is going to be used by the judge committee to evaluate or to assess your files, or the students or the applicants, let's say, files and work. So starting with the academic field, if you look at it, we have three criteria, or three major, let's say, criteria. The first one is excellence. Second is societal contribution. The third is continuity and future plans. Non-academic field, creativity, societal contributions, continuity, and future plans. So by looking at the two fields, now you can see that they've shared the same criteria, the second and the third. It's exactly actually the same, okay, for the academic field, or if you are applying for non-academic field. The only difference will be in the first criteria, which is going to be excellence if you are applying for academic, or creativity, and creativity if you are applying for non-academic field. So now let's take a look at, I'm now going to talk about the assessment of the academic distinguished award. I will be talking about the excellent societal contributions and continuity and future plans for the school, let's say, school students, all right? For the first two criterions, okay, the first two, actually the first two criteria, both of them are related to the university and to the school students, the same criteria. So I will discuss it at the same time, but the third criteria is different. The continuity and future plans is different for the undergraduate students, university students, versus the school students. So I will be explaining the differences, in this specific criteria. But for the excellence, it's the same. So here, what is this criteria is all about? It's about the students. We are looking at to see how the student, they can employ his or her skills and abilities in an academic field, okay, in a manner that exceeds expectations and distinguish the student from his or her peers. So now what we are saying is that we're not talking about the students' scores, because we have already considered the scores as one of the main and specific criteria, right, to be able to apply or to be eligible to apply for this award. But here in the excellence, what you will need to think about, you need to think about what certificates do you have that can prove that you are an excellent student or you are a high achiever in this area. It could be like math or the area of science, right? So like you can submit, for example, maybe you receive a certificate of excellence from the school or from the Ministry of Education, or probably you have participated in international, let's say, examination, standardized tests, and you have scored high in the area of math. That's your area of talent. You can definitely include that. So this is what we mean by excellence. All right, if we look at the excellence criteria, it includes four sub-criteria, okay? The first one is the distinguished performance. The second one, development methods, leadership skills, and the last one is excellence in society. Let's take a look at each one now separately. Okay, before going there, I will just also going to share with you that Distinguished University Student Award. If you can take a look, it's also the same sub-criteria. It's exactly the same. The main difference is just in the points, but they are the same criteria. Okay, for the distinguished performance, this is what I just have indicated earlier. So you need to prove here you are really an excellent student in a specific academic field. So you cannot combine two fields, okay? So it's not a good idea, like if you're going to say, I am very good, or my area of talent is science and math. No, you need to specifically or to think by only highlighting one area, one domain, okay? In which he or she achieves advanced positions. And also you need to show, like, as I indicated earlier, certificate of excellence in this specific area. And it can be at different levels, at school level, university, at the local community level, or even at the international level would be even better. All right, the second sub-criteria is development methods. And here, what is this criteria is about? Here you need to explain how did you develop your talents in this specific area. Let's say if you said that my area of talent is mathematics, right? Or science. So you need to show that how did you develop your skills in this area. So maybe you can explain, like, you have attended specific workshops, you attended webinars or seminars, you you did some practice at home. So there are many, many different ways of how you can explain what methods have you used to develop such a skill. Okay, for the third sub-criteria is the leadership skills. The leadership skills, in this award, we are focusing on communication and problem solving and responsibility. But the main two skills that it's highlighted in the form is communication skills and problem solving skills. So the student needs to explain that you are really, mastering these skills. And it's not going to be just like by saying that I am a good communicator or I can communicate very well in English or in Arabic. That's not enough. You need to prove it. You need to show a good evidence, maybe like a video to show that you are speaking, right, to an audience, or a video to show that what did you do so you can solve a problem between maybe your peers, or solving a problem at the community level, and so on. So you need to think about this. So be careful when you are submitting your evidences for this domain or for this sub-criteria, the leadership skills, and be sure to be able to exhibit that, to show that, or to exhibit the skills that you really have, in these two areas, communication and problem solving. All right, so the excellence in society, this is the fourth criteria under excellence. This dimension measures the effect of the student's academic excellence on society. We know that you are excellent in mathematics, for example. You have explained how did you develop your math abilities. You explained how you are really good in problem solving and communication. So the last sub-criteria is that what kind of impact, okay, did you have on the society in the area of mathematics. So now we are talking about your area of excellence. If you are excellent in math, science, or geography, or language arts, whatever, you need to explain how or what did you do, okay, what kind of added value that you have done in this area, for or to the society. All right, so now I'm done with the first criteria that is related to excellence. So now I'm going to move to the second criterion, which is societal contributions. And this is, again, it's the same criterion for the distinguished student and also for the distinguished university student award. As you can see, the only difference is in the points, all right? Okay, so what do we mean by the societal contributions? It means you need to submit or to explain any efforts that you have undertaken, okay, or any voluntarily, let's say, initiatives, activities that you were engaged in any field, but it has to be other than the field of the student excellence. So if your area of excellence is mathematics, we expect that the voluntarily, let's say, activities or any effort that you have taken in the society is going to be related to something else, not related to mathematics. Okay, for the second sub-criterion, identify the initiative and its societal field. So as we said that the societal contribution, right? This is the second criterion. So now what you need to do first, you need to explain what is the initiative that you have taken? What kind of efforts were you involved in? And you need to make this clear and to write it very clearly in the form. There is a place for you to write, okay? So you need to explain to identify all the activities, all the initiative that you implemented, okay? That is related to the efforts that you have taken. Identify the efforts made under or to implement the initiative. So now first you explained what is the initiative, right? What are the efforts? In the second sub-criteria is that you need to explain what efforts did you make? Let's say, for example, if I said that the initiative that I did, for example, I have conducted a workshop about, let's say, if this is your initiative, it's about the air pollution. Okay, so air pollution, just you want to make the people or the society aware, or maybe the school children to be aware about let's say, the problems that they can have, if we are not really going to consider, the air, right? And to ensure that we are not going to pollute, let's say, the air. So here, what you are going to write, you are going to explain what are the efforts that you have taken to be able to achieve your initiative. My initiative is to make the people aware about the air pollution, right? And the negative consequences of that. Okay, what efforts have you made? You can say, for example, that I made posters, I have prepared flyers, I have prepared website about that, and so on. So this is what we mean by the efforts. And for the impact of distinguished societal contributions, this is the third sub-criterion. So here you need to explain what is the positive impact of the implementation of your initiative on the students, on your personality, on the school or the local society, or even at the international level, right? Because definitely when you have this initiative, you have an audience and you are trying to solve a problem, let's say, in the society, and you have come up with this initiative. So you need to explain the impact and the positive impact of the initiative. And maybe it can be like a letter of recommendation. It can be like comments, right, from some individuals or some group of people who have really benefited, let's say, from your workshop about the air pollution, if we go with the same example. Okay, so the third criterion for the Distinguished Student and University Student Award. Now I'm going to talk about in the academic and non-academic field. The third criterion is the continuity and future plans. And as I indicated earlier, the continuity and future plans differs, right? This is the only criteria is different if we talk about university student or if I'm talking about the school students, let's say from grade 8 to grade 12. So let's talk now first about the distinguished student. So here for the continuity and future plans, the students are expecting to set future goals in the field of excellence. So if the student is excellent in the area of mathematics, He needs to have or to write clearly goals to show that how he's going to develop his area of talent, right? His area of talent, which is, let's say, mathematics. And also it needs to show the continuity of these goals. It's not something like you're just going to achieve next year, something that's going to be, continuous, and it has to also keep pace with an ever-changing world. So that's a requirement for the goals that you are going to have. So the first sub-criteria is to look, the judge committee, they will be looking at the goals itself. So you need to write your goals, and they have to be clear, they need to be smart, they need to be specific, they need to be attainable, they need to be realistic, okay? And this is very important. When you write your goals, if your goals are not really important, and if they are not specific, and if they are not really smart, I mean clear, measurable, realistic, everything is going to come after that. You are not going to, you are not going to get any score. You're really going to get just a 0. Why? Because your goals are not clear, are not specific, are not measurable. So be sure that when you are going to write your goals, they are going to be smart, specific, measurable, realistic, attainable, okay? And the T is, again, we need to ensure that they are going to be attainable. So attainable, realistic, measurable, and they need to be specific. So, and they need to be also implementable, something that you can really implement. So be sure to write the goals in this way. The second sub-criteria is the phases, okay, the plan phases. So here what we are talking about to determine the phases of implementation and completion of the future plan. So I'm talking still about the school, right? School students, the Distinguished Student Award. So after you write your goals, you need to explain the phases, okay? What are the phases that you are going to follow to be able to implement your goals? Third, you need to explain the time frame. Okay, when are you planning to finish from this phase? So you need to have like a table, maybe. Write the goals, write the phases, what you are going to do first, second, third, and then you can write specific time for each phase. And finally, you need to explain what kind of tools or measures that you are going to use to see if you have achieved these goals or not, right? Because you have a goal. For example, you say that if your area of talent is mathematics, you said that I want to become an expert in the area of mathematics. Okay, to become an expert in the area of mathematics, probably means you need to hold a PhD. Okay, so that could be one of your goals. I want to pursue, right, my doctorate degree in the area of mathematics. So the question will be how you can evaluate that. What kind of measure you are going to use to ensure that you have achieved this goal, right? So this is what we mean by the evaluation or the tools that you are going to identify. Okay, for the university student, as I indicated earlier, this criteria is different, the continuity and future plans. So university students are expected to show the commitment, reliability, moving forward in the field of excellence, again, dealing with an ever-changing world and high readiness to achieve the desired future outcomes through a specific plan. So first, also the university students are expected to write clear and smart goals. And they need to explain the initiatives. What are the initiatives that you are going to take to achieve these goals? Third, they need to explain the resources. What kind of resources you will need to be able to implement or achieve your goals? And finally, the evaluation. What tools or measure that you will use to see, right, and to see the extent to which you have achieved your goals. So now I'm moving to the Distinguished Student and University Students Award in the non-academic field. If you remember earlier when I talked about the criteria, I have indicated that the criteria is almost the same, right? For two criteria, the societal contribution, right, and for the future plans. The first criterion, it was excellence for the academic, and the first criterion is going to be what? Creativity for the students who are going to apply for the non-academic fields. Since I have already talked about the societal contribution and continuity and future plans for the student award and for the university student award, I'm not going to repeat it again. So now I'm just going to talk about the creativity. All right, so for the creativity, what does it mean when we say creativity? It means modernity, originality, and social value added in any area of life in general, and the ability to find new solutions, ideas, methods, okay, and use them in a positive, innovative, unique, and unfamiliar manner. So that's what we expect you when you say that I am creative in any area. So you need to prove that by showing that you have a product, right? Or you have an idea, or you come up with a new solution that something is really new and it has not been, let's say, offered before, and it is very much unique and original. All right, so if we look at creativity, okay, and we look at the sub-criterion, there are three. First, what you need to do, and this is actually, if we are talking about now for the Distinguished Student Award, you need to explain first the field of creativity, and you need to explain the creativity outcomes and the social value. And again, it's the same for the university student. The only difference is in the points. How many points, okay? So now let's take a look at each sub-criteria. For the field of creativity, the dimension determines the field or nature of creativity. So here you need to explain in which field you are creative, okay? Don't leave it open. So you need to be very specific. You need to say, for example, I am creative in the area of technology or in the area of, let's say, literacy, whatever. So you need to write down, again, a description about your area of creativity. Okay, so it has to be well written and it has to be very clear. So if we look at the distinguished students, we talked about that. If we just, yeah, so this is, we have already talked about the excellence. So I'm not going to talk about it because we have already discussed that. We'll just see about the creativity. Okay, the creativity outcomes. So first is the field of creativity. And we talked about that you need to write and to describe in details the area of creativity. The second thing you need to explain the outcomes, okay? This dimension measures the student's outcome in the field of his or her creativity. So here we expect that you are going to explain a product, okay? You need to show that you have something, a product or something or an idea that you have developed or a new solution that you have developed, okay? To prove that you are really creative in this area. And finally is the social value. So this dimension measures the added value of the students' creativity outcomes for the local or at the international level, or even at the school or at the university level, right? So you need to show what did you add, but you know, in your area of creativity. All right, so now I'm going to move on and to talk about the score scale. So this is what we call it rubric, okay? The rubric will show you the judge committee, how are they going to evaluate your work? So if we look, for example, now let's take a look at the academic field. If we look at the first criterion, which is excellence, how is it going to be evaluated? There are two subdimensions here. They will be used by the judge committee to evaluate your work. The first one is compatibility and harmony. The second one is the excellence level. So here the students is expected, as I indicated earlier, to submit a proof to show that they are excellent in the area, in the academic area, right? But we said that we are expecting the students to submit like awards, okay? recognition, like certificates of recognition, things like that. So when you submit this, it has to be definitely related directly to your area of academic talent. So you cannot say that your academic talent is mathematics, and then you will submit, for example, a letter of excellence in the area of science, right? So it has to be compatible. So it has to be to match your area of excellence. The second is the excellence level. So if the students attach, let's say, most of the excellence proofs at the international level, the students will receive 50. If it's the most, let's say if you submitted 5 certificates of excellence, 4 of them at the international level, then you will get 50. 4 of them at the community, at the, let's say, community level, at the Ministry of Education level, for example, you will get 40. You get me? But if you submit 4 certificates, 2 at the school level and 2 at the international level, you will get the higher score. So you will get the 50. Okay? So this is very important for you. If you have, the more certificates you have, of course, it's the better. But again, the level of the certificate, it will make a difference when it comes to the scoring. All right, so if we move on now to the development methods, the sub-criterion that are used or the access of judging by the committee members, they will be also looking at, again, compatibility and diversity. Like, how did you develop your talent in the area of math, right? So if the student attached more than 5 proofs or 5 methods to show that how they are really developing their skills in the area of mathematics. Let's say I said I attended 3 workshops, I attended 2 webinars. These are 5, right? So if you attended more than 3, you'll get 4. If you have 5 examples, you'll get 40. If you included more than 5, you will get 50, right? So let's say if I said that I have attended 5 workshops in the area of math and algebra, right? To develop my talent in the area of mathematics. When we look at this sub-criteria, I'm sorry, this sub-axis for the judgment, the diversity, let's say this is one of the, in the rubric, that's one of the measures that we use, diversity. So if all of the 5 methods are workshops, then you will get what? Because this is only one method, you will get 20. Here you will get, because here it's 5, you will get 40, right? At the first one, at the first measure. But at the second measure, the diversity, you will get only 20. Why? Because the 5 methods are the same, workshops. But if you have 2 workshops, one, let's say, webinar, one practice that the test you have done, the 5th is the course, 5 different methods, then you can get 50. Get me? So that's it. All right, moving on to the second sub-criterion, which is leadership skills. So here we have two ways to measure it. 2 criterion will be used: effective communication and problem solving, as I indicated earlier. So this will explain to you exactly how you will get a high score. So if you are able to express and communicate any message, right? Information or request smoothly and simply, the student has attached more than 3 proofs, then you can get what? 45. That will be the highest score. So moving on to the fourth, I'm sorry, sub-criterion for excellence, which is excellence in society. So this will be assessed by these 4 elements or 4 criteria. First, efforts and addition. What did you add, right, to the society? Second, compatibility. Are the efforts related to your area of talent or not? Third, again, the impact. Is it right, a huge impact? Okay, or is it just like a little impact? And here, again, if you can see, the student stated more than 3 impacts of his contribution at the personal level. So here we are looking, we have the impacts, we are looking at 2 levels, at your personal level and also at the university, local, school, or international level of the society. So if I said that This, for example, what I have done, the initiative that I did, it has, benefited me in my, let's say, communication skills, problem solving abilities, and social skills. These are three skills, then I will get what I can get, because there are three only, I will get 30. If more than three, I will get 4. So that's the way how, your work will be evaluated. Moving to the second sub-criterion, which is the initiative and its societal contribution. So here we need, this is about societal contribution for the university students. Here they need to explain the initiatives. Remember when we talked about the sub-criterion? So the initiative you need to include to be sure that it's clear, okay? It has to be original, new initiatives. You don't have to do the same thing that like what other people are doing. So come up with some initiatives that are unique and new. The society acceptance of the initiative. So you need to also submit some kind of examples, like there are 3 different bodies who accepted your initiative. Could be like a school, for example, that can be a body, for example. You can also, another group of people can be, for example, like the Ministry of Education, that could be another group. The parents can be another group. The students can be another group. So you need to have 3, let's say, different groups in the society. So you cannot say like, if you have 40 parents who they approved or they were happy with your initiative, is still they are one group parents. So you need to show that your initiative, it has been accepted by different groups, like teacher, parents, students, and so on. So this is all will be taken into consideration in the way how, the judge will evaluate your work. And finally, the level of the initiative, is it at the university level, for example, or a school level, or is it at a higher level? Let's say if it is going to be at the society or at the international level. All right, so efforts and made to implement the initiative. So here the student also is expected to explain what efforts they have made. It has to be clear, the efforts. It has to be creative, and the efforts implemented under the initiative. So here again, we are also looking at the number of the proof to show what kind of what efforts, right, the students was engaged in to be able to implement his or her initiative. All right, so now for the society, for the impact of the initiative on the student and society. So also we have the impact of the initiative at the student's personal level and also the impact at the society level. Looking at this is again the third criterion, the continuity and the future plans. So if we look at the goals, so as I indicated before, the goals, they need to be clear, they need to be compatible, related to the student's area of talent, diversity. So the goals are expected to be different and diverse, and practicality and measurement. We need to be able to measure your goals. Okay, so now this is again, now I'm talking about the continuity and future plans criteria for the Distinguished Student Award. So the student, as we indicated before, they need to explain the phases. So the phase needs to be clearly identified. You can write it down in the form. How many phases did you use, for example, and you need to explain the timeline clearly for each individual phase. Also, the compatible. Are the phases consistent with your future plan or not? And the time frame has to be clear, as I indicated earlier, to each phase. And the time frame also, they need to be consistent with the phase and with the future goals. Evaluation, as I indicated earlier, you need to specifically talk about the tools, right? And the tools are expected to be also diverse, different methods you are going to use to evaluate your goals and to show how you are going to evaluate, the achievement of your future goals. All right, so now let's move on to the non-academic domain. And here we have creativity. For the field of creativity, also, it will be assessed by two criteria. First, clarity and precision. Is it clear when you write about it? Okay, because the student, let's take a look at the score, for example, to get the highest score. The student has submitted clear, detailed, and accurate information about the field and nature of creativity in an organized and creative manner. So it's not only to write about your field of creativity, right, in a clear manner, but you need to write it in a well-organized and creative manner. So if you are able to make it like in a chart or to write it in a way that it can be really, an unusual way, you will get a higher score. However, if you submitted it in a clear way and it was organized and interesting, you will get 15. You get me? So the scores will differ based on how you are presenting the information. Okay, the field of creativity, there is also here what the development methods. So here we are expecting that you are going to explain what methods have you used, right, to develop the area of your creativity area, or the area of your creativity. So here you need to attach, if you attach many, let's say methods, if you say that I used more than 5 methods, then you will get 70. If you use more than 30 methods, different methods, you will get 60, and so on. All right, so if we look here at the second sub-criterion for creativity is the creativity outcomes. Remember, we talked about it earlier. We said that you need to have a product. You need to have an example of a product in your area of creativity. All right, so this product, you need to explain what is the goal of this product. Why did you develop, let's say, this application? All right, what is the main aim of that? So it has to be clear, your goal. Who are your target audience? Are you developing this application, for example, for elementary school children? Are you doing it for university students? Are you doing it for everybody, for just people in the community, for individuals in the community at, with different age groups? So you need to make it clear and to explain that. Where is the originality? How is your outcome or your product is different? How is it new, okay, than what we have already available now? Is it an individual work or is it a group work? It also going to, you get different scores. Compatibility with the society culture. Is what you have developed, is that something related to the culture? Okay. Is it something that is accepted by the culture? So you need to provide, for example, letters from different members in the community to show that they are happy with that and it's really in alignment, with the culture. Product assessment plan. What about your assessment plan? How are you going to assess the achievement of your outcome? You developed an application, for example, right? For, let's say, elementary school children to develop their mathematics skills. How can you tell that this application, right, is really going to benefit the students? You are really going to meet your goals. You are really going to achieve what you want to achieve. So you need to explain your assessment plan. This is what is expected here. All right, social value. So that's the third sub-criteria for creativity. So here you need to explain the efforts and the addition that you make, right, in the society, in this area. Okay, if you said that I developed, let's say, an application to support, as I said now, elementary children in the area of mathematics. Okay, so what is the addition? What are you adding to what is already available in the society, right? There are many applications, for example. But what is new? What are you adding more, with your application? And you need to prove that by maybe providing like letters, right, from the society to show the people they are saying that, yes, the efforts was big. We have learned from this application. Teachers, probably they can write about how they are happy and satisfied with that, So here, the effort in itself, you need to show that how it was huge and it was significant. It really adds value. The beneficiary satisfaction. The difference between this one, the first one and the second one, here in the beneficiary satisfaction, you need to prove that whoever is using your application is satisfied. Okay, they are happy with this application. The first one, you want to show that you have added something to the society with your new, let's say, innovation or your new creation and so on. The third sub-criterion is the result criterion that is used to measure your work is the impact at the personal level. Okay, how did you really benefit from developing this application? Does it, for example, develop your IT skills, right? Technological skills? Does it impact you, for example, develop your personal, let's say, communication skills? You know, so you can think about what kind of impact have this at your personal level. So now moving on to the second criterion, which is the societal contribution. So here again, I think I talked already about that one, because for the societal contribution, we talked about the initiative that you need to develop, right? And I have already mentioned the sub-criteria that is used by the judge committee. So I'm not going to repeat myself again, because actually it's the same, you know, for the undergraduate, for the school students. And I have already talked about it. So let me just talk now about the Distinguished University Student Award for the continuity and the future plans, because it's different from from the school students. For the university students are expected to write their goals. Their goals needs to be also clear, has to be also compatible, related to their area of talent. It needs also to be diverse, and to be practical and to be measurable. The students, as we said, university students, unlike the school students, because the school students, they only need to write the stages, right? For their future plans, they need to explain the time frame, and they need to explain the assessment or the evaluation. For the university students, they need to talk about the initiatives. What are the initiatives that you are going to take to help you to reach your goals? So here you need to explain first the nature of the initiative, and you need to provide some evidences, because for the initiatives, we are talking about future goals, but we are expecting that probably you have already started your initiative. Maybe you have already done something to help you to reach your future goal. So if you have already implemented some of the initiatives, you may need to explain them, okay? How clear it is. So it has to be very clear. And again, you need to show the originality. For the resources that you need to make it clear what type of resources you need, okay? You need financial resources, you need technological resources. So you need to specifically to explain that in the form again. And the resources, they need to be related for sure with the future plans. And you need to explain how you are going to secure these resources. Okay, let's say you need financial resources. How are you going to get it? So you need to explain how you are going to get it. And finally, you need to explain what are the challenges that you expect you may face, and how are you going to overcome these challenges. All right, so finally is the evaluation, and you need to explain how you are going to evaluate, okay, that your goals, how you are going to say that I achieved these future goals. So it has to be clear that you need to identify the evaluation methods and procedures that you will be using, and it has to be all compatible or related to your future plans or goals. And it needs also, you need to show different tools, and you need to explain also the duration. Okay, so you need to show that for like how long are you, when are exactly you are going to assess it. Okay, let's say if you are going to say that my future goal is that you want to become, let's say, an innovator, like you are going to invent a device, maybe you need to show that what initiatives that you are going to take to be able to develop this device, one of your initiatives can be like, I am going, for example, to take some courses to help me in the area of AI to be able to develop, right, the device. Okay, now the question is how you are going to evaluate that you have achieved, your goal. So you can say that I will see that, okay, if I completed the course and I scored, let's say I passed the course, that's how I'm going to evaluate that I achieved, this goal. And that will be the goal by looking at the initiatives and to show that each initiative, how you are going to assess it and to say that I achieved all these initiatives to achieve my final goals. So that's basically it for the criteria for the distinguished students and the distinguished university students. And now I'm going to, I would ask Mrs. Khawla, if you can please give all the students a mic and let's see if they have questions. And so I can be able to answer all the students' questions in the upcoming hour. Okay, hopefully she will respond back. So let me start by look at in the Q&A. Probably you have some questions here. If you graduate this summer, you cannot apply because actually you need to, when you apply, we expected that you are going to apply at, the deadline is what, September 6th. So when you apply by that time, by September 6th, you need to be a current student, right? You are continuous student. So I don't think you can apply if you will graduate this summer. Yeah. Unless Mrs. Khawla, and then foundation. Let me just again see if I can call Ms. Khawla to get her also input about this question. Okay, if you won the award in cycle 26, no, you cannot apply in 27. You said 2 years. Is there a word limit for these descriptions? I don't think there is a word limit. Maybe if it's not really clearly stated in the form itself. Yes, I believe it's 100. I think it's a 100 words. I think definitely it should be clearly stated in the form itself. But yes, I believe it's 100 words. Okay. Well, for the societal contribution, it can be one effort or it can be multiple efforts. So it's fine. We are just here trying to explain what efforts that you have made, right? Or voluntarily activities that you're engaged into the society. Okay, in what format do we present our continuity and future goals section? For school students, I will say you can do it in a table. And you can just write down what are your goals, explain the stages, explain the timeline, right? And the evaluation. You can have a PowerPoint and supporting documents, yes, that also can be acceptable, yes. Yes, and then to summarize the specific criterion in 100 words, yes, because that's what is a requirement. If you will allow me, I will just now I will start to call Ms. Khawla to see if she can give you all the mic, okay? Yeah, she will give you the mic soon.
Hello, Doctor. I think it's on. The mic is on.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we will start. Yes.
Good
So we'll
afternoon,
start
team.
with Thomas. I have Thomas number 1 in my list. Thomas Sebastian.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, can technology such as robotics projects be considered under the science field, or like is it a separate field of its own?
No, it will be a separate field. It will be technology.
Okay, so okay, and then, ma'am, I have one more doubt actually. The website here, it actually only allows to put 3 files per axis of judging. So some axis of judging wants us to attach 5 fields, 5 proofs here. So like, how do we do that?
For the initiatives?
Yes, ma'am. Not just for the initiatives. Like there are many other axis of judging. Yeah, like they want 5 proofs, but the website is only allowing to add 3 files per axis of judging. So how can we go about that?
Yeah, but sometimes, like I remember, we had some students in the past, like they use, for example, in the PowerPoint. like in one
Okay.
page, you can include more than one. I mean,
So in one
evidence.
file, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So in one file, we can put more than
You
one
can.
evidence. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, second, I will go to Khalid. Khalid Quizley.
Yes, hi, Miss Hala. I'm her sister.
Okay, go ahead, please.
He asked me to ask you, last year in the workshop that you did last year, you mentioned that we can repeat some evidence and some sub-criterion, yani. And the
Yes.
last, so is it the same this year?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, but not this, what we always say, like, for example, if you look at goals, I mean, if we think about the last criteria, the future
Yes.
plans, right?
Mm.
The future plans, if you look at the the 3 or 4 sub-criteria, you can use the same goals,
Yes,
right?
yes. Yes,
So you
I
will use the
understand.
same goals and you will explain, like, for example, if you're a school student, you will explain the goals itself, and then you write the timeline for the goals. You get me? So there is a repetition, so it's fine.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, so now let's move on. So if please, when you finish, please, if you can, yeah, take your, yes. Let me move on to who else? Okay, Lakshmi. Narasimhan.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for your
Okay.
presentation.
I'm
Thank
sorry
you for your
if I
presentation.
mispronounced your name. Yes.
Hello. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your presentation. For the academic part, I want to know how many certificates are allowed maximum, like for the excellence, first section.
The more you have, the better. Yeah, like if you look at, I think the access, you know, judging how the judge will evaluate it, the more you have, the better. I think it's written
Should it?
right. If you have more than 5 or 5, something like that,
Yes.
you will get
Yes.
the highest score. Yeah.
But when it considered international means at the UAE level, it will be considered national, right, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, could you please explain the interview procedure?
Say it again, please. I can't hear you.
Ma'am, could you please explain the interview procedure?
Which procedure for what?
Ma'am, the interview, like how long it will
The
be?
interview, the interview takes, it depends, but it can range around, I would say 20 minutes. And, but it can go for a little bit more, let's say, between 15 to 30 minutes long. And usually what is expected from the applicant is to showcase, you know, their work and to show their areas of strength. And the panel, usually they have, you know, they will come with some questions. Maybe they need more clarifications about certain issues, and they will ask the interviewee to respond. And after that, you know, they will score. They will have a score based on the students' responses to their questions and inquiries.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Is
you
it
so
clear
much.
to you? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. All right. So now let me move on to Sashantu.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Dino Selvan. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
Ma'am,
afternoon.
can you please tell me how do you create a file for this Hamdan Award?
How do you create a file?
Yes, like what is a file basically? Is it like just like a list of our achievements with proof? You know, a
Yes.
detailed list?
Exactly. So you look
Okay.
at each, it will be good, like if you can have like a heading and subheading, you know, to ensure that you are really satisfying all the requirements. So like I have seen, for example, some students, what they do, like they sometimes submit it like in a PowerPoint format. And in each slide, they will have, that could be related, let's say, to specific criteria and sub-criteria sometimes. And they will include the achievements, they will explain what they have done, and then they will put, you know, the evidences. They will attach it there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. All right, so yeah, if you finish, please put your hand down. And let me go to Narish. Yeah, Narish Kumar.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Selvan. Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, how many letters of recommendation is needed?
2.
Like
It's written, yeah.
2 is enough?
Yeah.
Ma'am, and if we have it from international sources as well, and that would mean extra points.
You're talking about letter of recommendation. Are you talking about the requirement for the app, like for the application? When you were
Yes,
asked
ma'am.
to,
For
or
the
you are talking
application.
about a proof for the excellence in the non-academic?
Ma'am, both. Ma'am, both in the non-academic
Both, yeah.
part.
For the non-academic area, the letter is going to be, it has to come from an expert,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
To prove that you are really, you know, have a talent or you are creative, let's say, in a specific area. So
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
you can, the more letters you have, the better, of course. But
Ma'am, I
for
have
the,
another question.
go ahead.
Ma'am, how many awards will be given in total in the non-academic and academic field? Like,
Say it again. What is your question? How,
ma'am, how many awards will be given totally to
the
in the
point,
student category? No, ma'am,
points?
how many awards? No, ma'am, like
It's one
the
out
awards.
of the number. I don't think we have, there is a specific number. It's usually, it depends on Hamdan Foundation final decision.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
Ms. Khawla, do you have a specific number? I don't think they have a specific number. I think it depends upon, you know, the students' work. And do you have a specific number, Ms. Khawla, for the number of the students who will receive the award in the academic and non-academic fields?
No.
Yeah, so it depends on the work of the students.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Okay, Amna Belushi.
السلام عليكم دكتورة هالة.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
First of all, thank you for presentations and your efforts. And second of all, my question is, could we focus in the field of our specialization for non-academic portion? So we just...
I can't hear you well. There's something with your voice. You said that, can you focus on what? The
in our field of specialization.
Yeah, you need to have a specific field. Yes. You need to have one specific field.
Okay. It's
yeah,
okay.
It can be academic or non-academic. You need to choose one.
Okay. And you will send for us the file with details, information, or?
Yeah, and I think it's already there. They have everything now in their website, Hamdan Foundation website. You will find that they have the guidelines. Yeah.
I saw it, but it was a little of a struggle. So the one that you
Are you
shared was
asking
more...
about so you want my presentation?
Yes, it was more clear.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Doctor.
I will email it to Ms. Khawla and she will email to you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who else now? Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I had one more doubt actually. So in the website, there's a section known as certificates of excellence. Like that's not under any dimension or anything. Like the other certificates of excellence, like for the excellence criteria, yeah, that's separate. But like before that, there's a section called certificates of excellence, like right after where we have to add our grades and all that. So like, what are we meant to add in that? Like, is it like school certificates or something, ma'am? Like, I'm not sure about that.
The excellence, the excellence is expected. I think isn't that related to the academic field? Because that's the first criterion.
Yes, ma'am. But before these criteria itself, like there's a page where you have to add your grades and all that, and like in that same page itself, there's something just called certificates of excellence. Like they didn't give any description. It's just called certificates of excellence, and then in that you can put
So this is basically it will serve. If you have extra things, you can definitely add it there, but it will serve more the students who are applying for the non-academic fields, because they need to submit, the certificates of excellence in their area of talent or their area of creativity.
All right. Okay. And if you have any extra documents, we can put it there as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Certificates. Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. But it's always better to ensure that all the documents you have and the evidences to be, submitted in the specific, with the specific criteria. Because, right, when the judge committee, they will be looking at the criteria, they want to see the evidences and the proofs in relation to this specific criteria.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank
Mhm.
you.
You're very welcome. Yes, ask me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
just one more doubt. Ma'am, do we need a recommendation letter for the academic field as well?
Recommendation letter for the academic field. You just need, no, you just need, I think, contact information. That's what is written in the guidelines. Yeah,
Ma'am,
but you
for the
don't need a
students?
recommendation letter. You need to provide your certificates, proof of evidence that you are really a high achiever, right? You are scoring 90% in the last 3 years.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
if you
you.
are a school student, but if you are a university, you will need to submit your GPA scores.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Yes, Hasina?
Salam.
Alaikum assalam.
Hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so doctor, I have a few questions, but before that, I would like to give the Hamdan Award for the presentation. My first question is, how does this field apply for university students? For example, you said that science, maths, and all those things, but since I'm doing special education, what category should I select while applying for this award?
Yeah, if you're applying as university student, so that will be your field, right? So you can apply for the academic field, and that will be special education.
Okay.
So that will be the
That's
field
great.
that you are going to apply.
And
Mhm.
okay, okay. So I apply as an undergraduate student. How should I submit my certificate? Is it the one that we get from the e-services of UAU website, which has all the courses along with their grades beside them, or should I submit the certificates which I received for the Dean's List?
The Dean's List, that's an indication, a proof of academic excellence, right? But this is, you can include it in the first, let's say the first criterion, okay, for excellence. If you think about the excellence criteria, remember there are sub-criteria. One of them that you need to show how you are excellent
Yeah.
in the field. So in this one, then you'll put the Dean's List. But when it comes to the transcripts and your scores, your GPA, this is a requirement. So you need to submit it, and it has to come from maybe like the registration office, because it needs to be stamped and it needs to be dated and it has to be an official document. So for the last 3 years or the last, not 3 years for university students, will be for the last 2 years. So you need to submit the
Yeah.
GPA score, yeah.
Okay, so does these 2 years include a summer semester as well, or it's 2 major semesters?
Usually it is the academic year. So the academic year will include the summer, right? If you take the summer course. But if not, it will be only, of course, the fall and spring, yes.
So I have another chance to ask that if I have a high grade, I did lots of volunteering inside and outside the university, and I am also research assistant. And I have done lots of extracurricular activities. Can I attach all those as proofs or like just as a benefit to my grades and all? Is it possible or is it
I
not
think
allowed?
this will be better to include them. Probably some of them you can include them as societal contributions, because the societal contributions, anything that you are doing, right, for the society to support or things like that. But as far as like the work that you are doing, for example, as if you said that you have worked as a research assistant, right? So that's a contribution that you have made to the society by supporting faculty, for example, in research. Also, you can use it in, like, if you have, let's say, prepared a literature review, that can be an example also of communication, to show that you have an excellent communication skills by being able to write, let's say, a summary of literature review. That can show your written communication skills. You get me? So there are different ways
Yes.
you can use the data that you have.
Okay, that's amazing. And also one last question, sorry. So as for the information of two professors, can I contact details of professors who taught me before in the
Yeah.
previous semesters but are no longer professors? One of them is a vice dean now.
Yeah,
So
that
is
will
it
be
possible
fine.
if I'll contact?
Yes, that will be all right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor.
You're very welcome. Yes. Now Khalid Quisley. Oh no, I'm sorry, Ashley. Ashley Kolako.
Hello, Miss.
Hello.
Yes, Miss. I just wanted to know where can we get the form for sending in all the details?
It should be online. Which form? Are you talking about the form that to submit for the award? Submit the application?
Yes, the application and the evidence as well.
It's all online.
So, like, what's the name of the link?
Mrs. Khawla, can you please share with
Yes.
them?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
maybe in the yeah,
Thank you so
the
much,
chat
Miss.
box. Yeah, she will share it with you in the chat box.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss.
You're very welcome. Okay, and now let's move on to Yazhini Mutu. Yes, Sarika.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon.
Ma'am, I have a question. This is for distinguished student category. When we are applying for under non-academic category, under creativity, if the applicant has got more than two talents, creativity is where we have to highlight their talents, right?
Yes.
So suppose the applicant has got more than two talents, like she is good in literature and say dance, and she has achieved in both the fields. So do we have to highlight only one talent there, or you can attach more than two to three along with your supporting documents as well?
No. You need only to identify one area of talent and to submit that one area of talent. Otherwise,
Related to that talent.
yeah, because otherwise the referee, what they will do, they will just take the first one and they will
Okay.
look, they will consider it only.
Okay,
it's
so
better you
whichever
choose
has
the
got
best one.
more achievements, you can highlight that
Yes,
talent, right?
yes, I think that's how you do it. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. And thank you so much. And it would be good if you can share this recording as well so that we can go back and refer to if we have missed out something.
Yeah, they usually
as
have
well.
it in YouTube. I think Ms. Khawla will share with you. They have
Okay.
the YouTube channel. Yeah.
Okay. All right, ma'am.
Hamdan
Thank you so much.
Foundation. You're very welcome. All right. Hania Salim. Muhammad Yusuf. Ashley, do you still have another question? I can see still your hand, raising your hand. Ashley?
Oh, sorry, miss. Sorry, miss, I forgot to remove my hand.
Yeah, if you
Hello.
don't have questions, please, put your hand down. Yes.
Yes, Miss Doctor.
Yes.
My question is about student category, non-academic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mentioned in the forms that it's 80% overall. So I want to clarify whether it is overall or individual subject score, which is counted.
No, you're talking about the 80%,
Yes,
the condition.
80% student
Yeah, it has to
non-academic.
be overall. No. Overall, okay?
Okay.
For all the subjects per year. And the student is expected to submit for the last 3 years.
3 years. But it's not individual scores, it's overall, right?
Overall, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
You're very
Doctor.
welcome. You're very welcome. All right. Hasina, do you have another question? I can see your hands.
Yes, Doctor, I have a question.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Doctor, I wanted to ask that, can you repeat what will the interview include?
Yeah, as I indicated earlier, the interview is mainly for the students to showcase, right? To talk about their areas of strength, and the committee or the judge, they will come members, they will come with some questions, or maybe they need more clarifications based on the file of the student. they will ask the students some questions, and sometimes like they will ask, you know, the student, like if the students say, like, for example, they said that they write poems or things like that, they can ask the students to write something about any area that they think. They can ask the students, okay, here the area, last, you know, now give me an example of a poem, if you can just come up with 2 lines, for example. So it's more like a performance-based kind of assessment to ensure that the students are really talented, you know, in the area that they have indicated. And sometimes it's just for the students also to talk more about their areas of strength and to explain what they are able to do, you know, in real life, I guess.
Okay.
That's the
And
main
one more
aim.
question.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you. One more question is that the GPA for each academic year, do they look at the CGPA, which is the cumulative GPA, or the semester GPA?
Cumulative GPA.
Okay, okay, thank you so much, Doctor.
You're very welcome. Okay, what about Abdul Alim Jasir? Abdul Alim. Okay, what about Sripad Manabhan?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
You're doing well. Ma'am, my question was, ma'am, for when you're taking the percentage, so do you need for the criteria for academic academic category, is the criteria 90% overall, or is it per subject?
Overall.
So overall,
you have to get to a 90%. Yeah, overall, in all the subject matters.
So in each subject, it should be above 90%.
The criteria is that overall. So maybe like you can have in one subject more and another subject maybe a little bit less, but the average score will be 90%.
Ah, all right. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Ask me. You have another question? Raptati?
Ma'am, what is the proof for attending this webinar?
Say it again.
Ma'am, what can we submit as a proof for attending this webinar?
You are going to receive, I think, a thank you email from Zoom, right, Ms. Khawla? Thank you certificate or something like that.
Yes.
From Zoom, and that will be the proof.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, any other questions? So I see people have their hands, raising their hands. We're gonna call the names, are not there. Aman, Praveen, are you there? Rana? Yasini? Hamdan, Ali?
Hello.
Yes, Aman? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I just want to ask you that I'm an all-rounder student actually. So I'm excelling in all the subjects, but I've been applying for opted for commerce stream. So would I be eligible to
Yeah, Rana, if you don't mind, please, if you can turn off your mic. Yes, please. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Aman. Aman, you need to open your mic. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm an all-rounder student, so I've been excellent scores in math, science, and linguistics. So, but I'm in the current 12th grade batch, so I have opted for commerce. So I want to understand under which category should I apply, under linguistics, because maths and science doesn't fall into my stream actually.
I think, yeah, it really depends upon you. I think that will be your decision and based on the evidences you have.
Because
Right.
my evidences for my excellence in maths and science is backed with the grade 9 and 10 scores. So my current going is in grade 12, which is on the commerce stream, and I have got a very good linguistic scores actually. So should I apply onto that?
I think you could, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But,
And
Mhm.
sorry for the continuous question. I just want to ask you that
Mhm.
would the MUNs would be considered as a proof for my linguistic skills, debates and everything can be considered?
Yeah, this is why I just want to say, like when you say linguistic, you need also to be very specific. What do you mean by linguistics? Because linguistics is the field at the university. You are a school student, right?
Yeah, I'm a school student.
Right. So you need to make it very clear because it has to be clear. Like, are you talking about writing skills, reading,
It's
spelling? So you
about
need to be very
my it's about my writing, reading, and my debating skills.
I think like debating skills, maybe you can talk about it in the area of communication. You can use it as a proof, like if you have been awarded, you know,
Yeah,
if you
and
participated like in debates, competitions, and things like that. But you need to really think specifically about specific skill, like writing, reading, because
so the debating will
linguistics
not
will
be,
not
is it
be
that the
acceptable.
debating skills will not be considered as a rubrics, measure of rubrics?
Just only you say debating skill, that would be the skill, the area of talent for you. That's not
Debating
an area of
skills,
academic.
and I'm a TED speaker. I'm a TED speaker.
Okay, so that could be non-academic area. You can say that, like if you want to go with the public speaking, for example, or debate speaker, so that you can apply for a non-academic field. Because the academic field, it has to be related to the school's subjects.
Okay, because well, I fall into both of the categories, so I am a bit confused to which part I should apply actually.
Yeah, so this is what you need to think. Like, if you are going to apply for academic, you need to choose a subject matter, right? Or something that's related to subject matter in the school. So you cannot, because debate, we know that, for example, debate or public speaking, this is not a subject, right?
Yep.
It's not a subject matter, but it's a skill.
Yep.
So you can say, I have this skill, but that would be good if you are going to apply. You can consider it as an area of talent if you are going to apply for the non-academic area. And in this case, you need to be able to prove that you are really talented in this area. Like maybe you have produced something or you came up with a new idea. You get me? Because when you are going to go for creativity for the non-academic area, you need to have a product.
Okay. So
What kind of
what
product
if
do you
that,
have? If you have it, I think, yeah.
what if it is that I've been conducting the Model United conferences representing my school? So which category does it fall?
Attending conferences and you are presenting in the conferences?
No, because I as a Secretary General, I am conducting Model United conferences representing the school in an inter-school level actually.
It depends on what do you do. Like, is it more like you are organizing? Do you do
I've been a
communication?
participant and now I've been an organizer. I've been chaired the session. I've been the president of the session. So what category would it come under? Is it a non-academic one or an academic one?
See, it can come in both, but it depends on which criteria or sub-criteria we're talking about. Like I can see that falls under, for example, communication skills, okay? And if you're going to talk about the debate, like you say that I have public speaking skills, probably that can falls under that. That can be a proof to show that you are really excellent in this area, that you have been nominated by the school, right, and selected to participate or to be the organizer of the conference. So you get me?
Yep.
So you can really put it in different places.
So
like if you see that I am also good in
what
reading.
I understand is that I have to be applied under the linguistics.
Yeah, but the linguistics is a broad field. Like you cannot say linguistics because linguistics includes different skills. I think what you need to do, you need to think about, you need to look at the evidences that you have, right? And to think about what you really, which skill that you would like really to present. And accordingly, you can see, where to apply. But the way how now you are explaining it, to me, it's more like you are applying for non-academic domain.
Because past 2 years I've been applying under academic division with all these skills. I think I've not been selected. So
Probably that's why.
I'm under the confusion to find out that if it is because my chosen path is wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you have just, like if you specifically state a specific skill, reading, writing, public speaking, that's all can be acceptable. But to say linguistics or to write 2 or 3 domains is not really, it will be at your disadvantage.
So how about that if I have received something of a Queen Elizabeth Scholarship Award, which category should it be included?
Which one? Say it again, please.
The Queen Elizabeth Scholarship Award.
So what is this? What type of scholarship?
This is for the education, actually, for the academic excellence.
Okay, so that will be you can include it in the excellence as a proof that you are excellent, but it has to, it has to also be related to specific area. Like, is it related to specific subject matter?
Yeah, it is complete to the academic excellence, actually.
So in all academic areas?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so in this case, I'll just include it at the beginning.
Okay, so it has to be in academic now.
Yes. Yeah, but when it comes to the specific skill, you need to select one skill.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
very
you for your time.
Yes, Rana?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much for your workshop. I think it's very easy for us to now clearly think of filling the form. I just want one clarification. If a student has won the academic award last year, can he or she apply this year for non-academic domain?
No, 2 years.
Okay, but in the website it says that there's no layover required for this.
Ms. Khawla, it should be 2 years, correct?
Yes, you're right. 2
So,
years.
but she said that's not clear in the website.
In the website, it says if you get academic, then in the next year you could apply for non-academic without a layover.
Yes, I'm sure
Yeah,
it's not
was the past.
2
but
years.
now it has
Yes,
been changed.
maybe it's not updated yet, but
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yes, Dr. Kahula, I have one more doubt. I asked you about the non-academic category. As we discussed, you said it's overall. So how about the academic category? Is it again overall or individual?
Yes,
because
same.
2 years
Overall.
back, we had an issue with this overall score when few students were lacking the individual 90%. Those files were rejected some 2 years back.
Yes, because you need to submit the overall score. For the
Overall was
academic, it has to be
90%.
90%. Huh?
Overall was 90%, but individual subject score was lesser in few.
No problem. No problem. That's fine.
But the files were rejected some 2 years back. So
I don't know, Ms. Khawla, maybe she can answer, or maybe you can check with Hamdan Foundation. But if you read the requirements, is the overall score has to be 90% for each individual year. We're talking about the last 3 years.
3 years, but not with the subjects, only with the
Not with the
final
subject.
scores.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Because
You're
there was a
welcome.
confusion some 2 years back. So I just want to clarify that. Okay. Thank you then.
You're very welcome.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sorry.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have a doubt. Ma'am, for our public works, like any societal works that we have done, ma'am, if we don't have the certificates, we could provide photos as proof, right? Or
Yeah.
is it necessary we have to get the certificates?
Yeah, if you have the photo and it's really can clearly shows your contribution and your involvement, that will be fine. But it's always good to ask, like, I don't know, the association or whoever you have, participated, in their organization, to ask them to, to write for you a letter. It's always good to have a letter, but if not, if you don't have it, a photo will be fine.
Awesome, ma'am. And ma'am, one more thing, if you have conducted any society, what do you call, social media campaigning, ma'am, it's fine if we provide the handles of those sites, right?
Say it again, I couldn't hear you well.
Ma'am, if you have conducted any social media campaigning on some issue,
Okay.
ma'am, it's fine if we provide the handles of those social media linking to our site, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, it's fine also if we get our letter of recommendation from the teachers itself, right? Like, do they count as experts, right?
Yeah, like if you're applying for non-academic area, let's say for the area of art, for example.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what yeah. So the art teacher can be an expert, yes.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, one more thing. It's for while giving the files and evidences, making it on PPT, Word, or anything else like that is completely fine, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, if you are talented in a field like for technology, ma'am, which has been both mentioned in academics and non-academics, we should go for non-academics, right? Because it's not included as a subject in.
What is the subject? What is the area?
Ma'am, if you're talented in technological field, that
Yeah,
field of technology.
technology, there are some, why? In schools now they are teaching it. This is the subject matter.
Okay, ma'am. So we could apply for both, right? Sorry, one of them with the technological field, right?
Yeah.
And ma'am, one more thing, ma'am, for communications, if we have published any poems or anything on some sites and we are getting the certificates, that will count as a file that we could give as evidence for communication, right?
Yes, written communication. Yes.
Okay, ma'am, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss, I have one question. I just remembered now.
Okay.
So, like in our curriculum, which is IGCSE and A levels, we do not follow a percentage system. We follow a UMS system. So, like, how will this be considered for Hamdan Award?
Yeah, you just need to show that it's equivalent to the excellence, I guess, score, and then Hamdan Foundation, they will check.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss.
Yes. Anyone else?
Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am, one more question. Is there any point of contact where we can get in touch in the mid of applying for the application whenever we stumble on a doubt? Is there any point of contact where we can contact?
Yes. Ms. Khawla, if they have questions and they need more, feedback, and they are like filling the ask me at ha.ae. Did you see that in the chat box? Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Now, if you don't mind, please fill out the questionnaire link that has been shared now by Ms. Khawla. Yeah.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes.
So, Doctor, I wanted to ask that since special education is a wide specialization, we have 4 different tracks, as well as we have electives that we are doing during those 4 years. So, how can we specify, for example, other students, if they are majoring in maths, science, and all, they can say that my specialization or my excellence is in maths or science or this and that, and for school students as well. So what should I, as a special education student, mention here?
Your area of concentration.
Okay, so sensory impairments. Okay, and what about for psychology? It's just psychology?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely, there are also clinical psychology, but the area of psychology is also can be the psychology, because at the university that can be a degree.
Okay.
So it depends on the degree that the students will receive. So that will be a clear, it's an acceptable field.
Okay. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Mhm.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, the YouTube link that I have received through the webinar chat, ma'am, the link is not opening, nor is it being copy pasted anywhere.
Which one is not opening?
Ma'am, it says the YouTube link for the
Maybe
presentation.
later, maybe after we finish. Ms. Khawla, she's asking about the YouTube channel.
It's working. It's working.
So it's working. All right. Any other questions?
Ma'am, Sarika here.
Yes. Yes, Sarika.
Yeah, if we have some videos supporting the talent of the child, so then how do we attach it? Do we have an option in the form while filling the application form? Suppose we are presenting the data in the form of a PPT or as a PDF, then
I
do
think
we
you can
have a
submit it. Yeah.
yeah? So we have an option to upload the video separately, ma'am, or we have to embed it in the PPT and give a hyperlink or something like that.
Ms. Khawla, what will be your answer for this question?
I didn't get her
Maybe a
question.
link. Mhm.
Ma'am, if we have supporting videos to show the talent under non-academic, I'm talking about creativity. So how do we upload these videos? Like you have a separate format for that. You have an option in the application form to upload the video separately, or do we include it in the PPT?
The system can accept all types of videos.
Okay. There is no limit for the file size, right?
Not more than 8.
Not more than 8, is it?
I think the site is not accepting PPT. PPT must be converted to PDF. So all the videos must be links only, right, Ms. Kaula?
Well, I'm not sure about it, but maybe I think it's
Yeah, I
accept
think it's
everything.
so.
Yeah.
No, PPT it's not taking.
Oh, okay.
Last year it was so. This
Okay.
year we have not tried.
Because I have still not gone through the website link, so I don't know how the format is.
Last year it was like that, but this year I don't know.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
I think they solved the problem.